American TV in China? Now this is thoughtful. Hello, I'm Nikki Wang in Shanghai. Western culture has infiltrated China's media market to the point that Blake Lively and Ed Westwick, the stars of Gossip Girl, are household names. That's a problem for broadcasters because Chinese are watching hit shows like Prison Break and Heroes on computers through illegal downloads. But advertisers are sponsoring localized versions of Western shows and tapping lead actors for ad campaigns. We'll find out why American media properties are so popular here, plus our own PT Black will look at the expectations of Chinese viewers. But first, with us is Larry Namer, the co-founder of E! Entertainment and the president and CEO of Metan Development Group, which develops entertainment and media for the Chinese market. Larry, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Why would the Chinese population care about Gossip Girl?
Why would they care about Gossip Girl? Because, well, I mean, just look at the popularity of the show all over the world. It's characters that people could identify with. I mean, right now, particularly in China, you have you know, this everything's possible kind of life. So people are looking for things that are aspirational and how rich people live and what they do and what they have. And Gossip Girl has a lot of that. But it gets back to human emotion, and it's love and riches and fighting, and it's pretty common, you know, among all cultures and all populations to like that kind of stuff. It's really why soap operas have been so popular around the world. It's essentially, it's an adult soap opera.
How much are advertisers paying to be a part of the show?
The real opportunities for there are integration. Opportunities across not just TV platform, but across internet and mobile. And most of that stuff is custom designed. I mean, when we do product integration for any show, we really customize it to the needs of the client. So when we meet with marketing people and we say, what's your biggest problem? And they tell us, you know, what traditional media is not capable of solving for them. We design, you know, things into the story that we hope are seamlessly integrated. And so you come up with a customized price as opposed to a formulaic price, which is really based on media time.
But has there really been a true multi-platform show in China? It hasn't been really.
There hasn't been a true multi-platform show. We think some of the things we're working on will change that. I mean, I've been involved in, even though I come out of the linear TV world, I've been a huge proponent of multi-platform for over 15 years. And the shows that we designed are all designed to have a strong internet and strong mobile component. And I mean, if you take a show like Gossip Girl, you know, the very basis of that show is, you know, tweeting and, you know, video blogs and things like that. So it lends itself perfectly.
Your show, Hello Hollywood, has been really taking off. What's next for you?
Well, Hello Hollywood is now on 40 TV stations. I think now it's on 9 stations in North America. So it's now the most widely distributed show about Hollywood done in Mandarin. I'm working on I'm writing a comedy. It's about the contradictions of modern Chinese life. It's what happens when you have tremendous life changes that happen in a very short period of time. I mean, you just look at what's happened in China, not just over 30 years, but particularly the last 10. Guy grows up on a farm, has never seen a toilet. 10 years later, he's living in a high-rise in Beijing and driving a Ferrari. Well, that journey in between is pretty funny if you could stand back from it. So if you have to live it every day, life could be pretty stressful, but if you have the luxury of standing back the way I do and just be able to look at it. So I'm writing that now. That'll probably be ready and go on TV sometime early next year. So for me, being able to get back and write a little, I haven't had that luxury for quite a while. You know, when I started E! I had to stop being creative and start being a business guy. So, you know, last 20 years for me have been more about the business of TV than the creative side of TV.
Well, thank you very much, Larry, for being on Thought for China.
You're welcome.
Here's PT back with a thought or two on what makes a hit show in China.
Making entertainment for broadcast in China is a huge operational challenge, but the prize is worth it. A popular broadcast here can reach 500 million viewers, sometimes more. So here's a partial list of elements for making a hit in China. First, you need drama. Mainstream audiences want to worry and judge and cry and cry. TV provides a chance to set public composure aside and be emotionally raw. Next is adversity. Chinese programming celebrates the most of underdogs. Forget Susan Boyle's triumph over her haircut. Last year's China's Got Talent was won by a young man with no arms who played the piano with his feet. You should next find some stone-faced actors. Chinese culture doesn't exactly encourage big emotional displays. The trick for an actor, then, is to communicate intense feeling with as little expression as possible. It's hard for us rubber-faced Westerners, but those who can pull it off, like Wentworth Miller from Prison Break, have a bright future here. Next, avoid vulgarity. This one's a government directive that targets everything from money-obsessed dating shows to the frivolous escapism of time travel. So keep it clean and make sure the bad guys always learn their lessons. Finally, if all else fails, show a Chinese athlete winning overseas. Tennis star Li Na's victory at the French Open was watched by over 100 million people here. Top that, Gossip Girls. XOXO.
Thanks, BT. With us now is Sylvia Goh, Managing Director of Liquid Thread China, Mark Heap, Managing Director China of PhD, and Olaf Lassell, Global Managing Director of Newcast. Gossip Girls and shows like that in the West has been really popular in China. Why are they so popular here?
Mainly because like the US is dominating the movie making industry since like the World War II or whatever. So actually they are really good in high quality. They're attracting like all the staff from like all the experts and scripts and directors and all this kind of stuff. So actually it's mainly everywhere.
That's very interesting because a US-based company is actually producing a localized Gossip Girl set in Shanghai. Do you think it's going to be a popular one?
It's hard to tell because actually, if I'm not wrong, Hunan Satellite is actually going to air it. So if they actually put in the right mix of Supergirl again, Happy Boys, or like the Heartthrobs of Asia, it might be quite okay. But I would have to say that you will never be as good as like what is done in the West, especially with Gossip Girls. The quality of luxury, the quality of the fashion, is quite difficult to replicate here. Yeah.
Mark, would you recommend such a show to your clients?
I wouldn't know. Partly because I think one of our main competitors is involved with it, but also I respectfully disagree with my panelist's comment that I don't think the likes of Hunan and PSTV have got any problem producing quality productions now. And I think it's interesting in the last few years they've been working a lot with overseas production houses and overseas networks to train their staff on how to not only produce shows but how to market them. So I don't see that as a big problem. What I do see, the reasons that I wouldn't recommend it would be that I think the Chinese viewers will just see it as a copycat. You know, the original series has already gone to air, and I think that will take a lot of the wind out of its sails. And secondly, I think if it's going to air on main TV, on free-to-air TV, the whole SAFT ruling on the content, I think, makes it very difficult for a lot of overseas shows. So particularly some of the riskier content on shows like Gossip Girls or Sex and the City, where there are different cultural values, and the government doesn't really want some of those promoting so so overtly. And that's why I think it will need to be toned down somewhat, which will probably lose its edge a little bit. But I don't think it's necessarily to do with the production values.
Actually, I have to agree. I'm sorry for that, but I have to agree. I wouldn't recommend this show in advance to our clients as well. What I would do is work very closely together with a production company, to be very close in contact with them, seeing, okay, what's the advance of the format and of the show, trying to see, okay, which of our clients can be integrated into the show, what kind of progress we can make with the client and how we can change the format and the structure of the format maybe. That would be like okay for us.
What's your prediction for media spending in China involving branded content this year compared to last year, Mark?
Well, it's going to increase. And one of the reasons will be related to the question you asked previously. You know, the government regulations, not just this latest one, but you know, it's been for a few years now that they've been tightening up on the reality shows. You know, and I think it's having a counterproductive effect. I disagree that it's just about, or I think there's an additional factor other than cultural, and I think it's to protect the revenues of the CCTV stations. But the reality is that what's happening is it's just pushing people online. So yeah, it is going to increase the inflation in the marketplace because the money is still flooding into China, but there's going to be less ratings to sell, so the inflation will be high. So it will seek agencies like the ones we work for and the clients we represent to look elsewhere. And there is great programming variety available, there's niche audiences, and there's lots of things you can do elsewhere. Vivaki,
actually, our mother group actually did a prediction last year that branded content is going to actually move up to 1.5 billion by year 2015. I think it's very conservative. Everything is beefing up now, like just online video alone is 31.5% this year, July, based on emarketing.com. So it's on the winning streak, and absolutely we, like what Olaf said, you know, functionality of the product placement is very critical. And for us in Liquid Thread, we believe in holistic integration. So you're a storyteller, you're telling people how great is Coca-Cola, you know, by engaging the emotion with Coca-Cola, because we all know Coca-Cola is a great drink, right? So you don't have to just put Coca-Cola right in front of you and end of the story. So it's how do you build a story around it and how do you engage the consumer to participate together with you? This is what we are after.
And finally, where is China's media market going from here?
There's this big push towards online channels and online distribution. Where I think it could swing back a little bit is as the TV networks develop their own media players. So if you look at what's going on, you know, in other nations where there's now iPad players and they've got content available on demand. Well, that's another factor that's driving people online in China because it's on demand. You know, they can download the show, they can watch it when they want, on the device they want, on the way to work, at work. So I think as soon as the TV stations also put all their formats available on demand, then that, you know, they might be able to sort of like peg back a little bit as well. But it's going up, definitely.
Sylvia, you pretty much answered my question just now, but do you have anything to add?
Yeah, because I think there are twofold, seriously. Digital, 100%, but China is only about 75% penetration at this moment for, you know, internet. So there's huge potential to develop that, and I don't see high quality reality show online yet. This is a huge potential. Other than digital, I think the other one to continue in development is like what we have been saying, quality production, quality content with all these satellites and TV stations, because there's third tier, fourth tier, fifth tier in China that's still developing. And a lot of FMCG clients like our P&G, our client, is really looking into all these tiers and how to engage with the consumers there. Right now, you still have to go through TVs. And other than that, what are the other ways, like, you know, to continue developing the relationship with this consumer? It could be on the ground as well. And branded entertainment is not just about content, it's about all kinds of entertainment to engage with your consumer in multi ways.
Mark, Sylvia, Olaf, thank you for being on the show. Now this wraps it up for us today. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube or Tudor. You can also follow us on Weibo or Twitter. We'll see you again.